This is fresh milled olive cheddar rosemary sourdough. And the secret is not the cheese. Most people add inclusions too early, then wonder why their bread turns dense, flat, or gummy. So in this video, I am showing you exactly when to add olives, cheddar, and rosemary for a bakery style loaf. And yes, this is 100% fresh milled. And the best part? I actually started with my fresh milled sourdough sandwich bread recipe, then turned it into this artisan olive cheddar rosemary loaf. So my dough already has some gluten development here. That's important because olives and cheese can weaken dough structure if added too early. With fresh milled flour especially, I like building strength first. So here, after flattening the dough into a rectangle, I added cheddar cheese cubes, chopped olives, and fresh rosemary. I used small cheddar cubes instead of shredded cheese. If the cubes are too large, you get blowouts, and if they are too tiny, the cheese disappears. Remember to use cold cheese and dry your olives really well. If they are wet, your dough can turn gummy. So after adding all those three ingredients, I rolled the dough and I let it rest for another 30 minutes. Then I did a gentle stretch and fold. And don't panic if cheese starts poking through. That's actually normal. After that, I left the dough alone for some time until it got puffy, jiggly, and about 40 to 60% rise. So here the dough was ready and I wanted to bake half of the dough as a regular sandwich loaf and another half as an oval bowl. One very important thing with cheese loaves is to not overproof. Cheese weakens structure slightly, so if the dough goes too far, then cheese leaks excessively, the loaf spreads, and crumb gets gummy. So first I turned each half of the dough into a tight ball after folding all the sides towards the center. After letting them rest for a little bit, I took each of the ball and then flattened them out gently into a rough rectangle. Then gently I folded each sides into the center like this. At shaping, I tried to preserve as much as gas as possible, only popped the large air bubbles. Then beginning from one end, I rolled this into a tight roll. So while I do that, I'm going to tell you exactly when I did the lamination process to add the inclusions. If you look at my original recipe, I use the method called fermentolysis, where I add all the ingredients together except butter and salt and let the dough rest for about 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, I add the melted butter and salt and I do my first stretch and fold. Then I let the dough rest for about 30 minutes. After that is the ideal time to add inclusions. Not during mixing, not during fermentolyze. So here I folded both the ends and put the dough into my loaf pan. And then I covered the pan and let the dough proof in the refrigerator for few hours. By the way, I'm Dr. Desai, a culinary medicine physician, and I shared doctor-backed sourdough recipes that actually work. Then I used the similar shaping technique on the other half of my dough. I sealed the bottom edge of the dough, sealed both the ends, and then placed in the Banneton with the sealed part facing on the top. Whereas when you are making a sandwich loaf, then the sealed part goes to the bottom of the pan. I add enough rice flour to my Banneton basket so it doesn't stick to my dough. Then I place this Banneton in the refrigerator covered and I let it cold proof there for a few hours. So as you can see, the dough looks puffy and it has a nice dome. I spread some olive oil on the top of the dough, then spread some coarse salt on the top. This is called volcano salt that I had purchased from my Iceland trip. Then added some fresh chopped rosemary on the top. Then I baked it in the oven at 375 degree Fahrenheit for about 40 to 50 minutes. Around 30 to 35 minutes mark, when the top started to brown, I covered it with the foil to prevent over browning. And enjoy this cheese oozing moment here. So once my dough in the Banneton was puffy, I took a piece of parchment paper and inverted the dough on the parchment paper. Then I removed the Banneton. When the dough is cold like this, it becomes really easy to score it. I also topped this one with that flaky volcano salt and fresh rosemary. This gives it that high-end bakery look. One long central score works best here, so I did that. I preheated my NutriMill Dutch oven in the oven at 450 degree Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. Then I lowered the dough with the parchment paper into that hot Dutch oven and baked it covered at 450 degree Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. After that, I removed the cover and let the dough bake for another 10 minutes at 450 degree Fahrenheit. That's when the dough looked really good from outside, but the inside temperature had not reached yet. So I took it out from the Dutch oven, placed it on the sheet pan and let it complete the baking while I covered it with the foil at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for another 10-15 minutes. It is important to keep an eye on exposed cheese because it browns faster. Next time I will lower the temperature to 425 degrees Fahrenheit after uncovering the Dutch oven. Finally, it was done. And this is the baked sandwich loaf. One reason I love fresh milled sourdough is you get incredible flavor while keeping more of the original grain nutrition. And once you understand dough structure, whole grain bread can absolutely look bakery worthy. Look at this crumb. You can see melted cheddar pockets, olives throughout, rosemary in every bite. Subscribe for more fresh milled sourdough that actually works.